Okay, let's be honest here. I've been an OLED fanboy since I looked at a OLED TV inside of a Costco many years ago. And since then, I bought 3 OLED TVs for my house. This year, many TV companies are making mini LED TVs, which has a lot of promising things, and it's deemed the OLED killer. And the reason people are saying that, it's because it gets brighter than OLED, the black levels are nearly just as good, cheaper to produce, and it doesn't run the risk of burn-ins. This is the first mini LED TV I had a chance to check out. Is this TV good enough for me to want to buy it instead of an OLED? Well, I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja, and let's find out. Before I begin this video, a big thanks to Samsung for sending this TV out for me to review on Loaner. They're not watching this video prior to it going live or anything like that, and I am sending the TV back, and that does not influence my opinion of this product at all. The QN90A from Samsung is a 65-inch TV that retails close to $2,600, which is a pretty expensive set starting off. Samsung often runs deals, so make sure you hit my links down below to see any deals that are from Samsung. But if 65 inches isn't your jazz, there are bigger ones and smaller ones too, so hit that link to find the TV that's perfect for your size. First, we gotta talk about design. The QN9080 is a premium built TV that has a center mounted stand that elevates the TV up a little bit higher so it looks like it's floating off the stand. If you have a sound bar, this stand is made to allow it to fit snugly underneath the TV. This TV also is pretty thin at 1.06 inches. The inputs are also built into the frame, which adds to the sleekness, and it also makes the ports easier to access when the TV is wall mounted. The back of the TV has cable management tracks, so if you're doing like a really clean setup, you can hide the wires. The whole TV is made from plastic, and I know what you may be thinking, like plastic feels cheap. This is premium plastic. It doesn't creak, it doesn't make any type of weird clacking sounds when you move it. It feels extremely solid. Now on the software side of things, this TV does run Tizen, which we've seen from Samsung before. Tizen is a featured pack software suite, and it just works. I do prefer LG's software a bit more, as Tizen sometimes can be a bit slower and a little clunky in the menus. I also sometimes get lost in the menu structure, even though this isn't my first Samsung TV. I just think it's overall too cluttered. Now, just like other TVs, it has a voice search, and it works pretty well, allowing you to do a search for an actor, a movie, a genre, and then it pops up telling you exactly where you can watch it, whether it's paid or free. By default, the TV is set to automatically adjust the picture based on content and several other conditions like ambient lighting. But if you prefer, you can go into expert settings and adjust nearly every setting you could possibly think of. However, I do think letting the TV adjust automatically works best for most people. And even for me, as a person who likes to go into settings and tweaks, I really do just like the way it is out of the box. So for example, when I was watching a soccer game, the greens were very vivid and punchy and bright. And when I was watching a movie, it looked a bit more subdued and movie-like. Now, I'm not sure if that was sort of a placebo effect, but overall, I was very happy with the picture, and I didn't have a need to go in and kind of fine-tune things as I normally would. The mini LED supports full array local dimming, meaning the blacks will get very deep, and in most viewing scenarios, it looks like OLED. But that one thing that makes you realize this isn't OLED is that you see slight blooming around bright areas. So for example, let's say you're watching a movie and it has subtitles on a black bar. The subtitles will sort of have a glowing effect around it because it's not per pixel. It's not a huge deal by any means at all, but as a reviewer, I look for these things, and that's something I did notice. But I think majority of people who are just watching it wouldn't think anything of it, since only OLED is the type of TV that doesn't do that at all. But a +1 to mini LED is the brightness. And I know it's not like, hey, this TV is very bright, wow, it's not about that. It's the difference in brightness compared to dark elements. So for example, if you're watching content with HDR, this is just a good example. If you're in like a dark area in the TV show and then like the main person shines a flashlight or there's lights or anything like that, the difference between the dark and the light is the brightness I'm referring to. And that's with HDR, and then the peak brightness allows it to get brighter. This TV does an excellent job at that. And that is a huge difference compared to my OLED, which I went back to after reviewing this TV, and the OLED just felt dim. The viewing angles on the TV is pretty good, so let's say you have a couch that maybe at an angle, it'll be fine. This TV is using a feature called Ultra Viewing Angle from Samsung, so it's much better than other TVs that share the same type of panel. It does get a little bit darker on the edges, but overall, I still think it looks pretty good. Now for me, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but the color profiles on this TV, there's tons of different profiles you can kind of scroll through. To me, the default one I think looks really good, but if you want to fine tune it, you can dive in and do that per HDMI input. So let's say you have a game on HDMI 1, you can fine tune that color, but you watch movies on HDMI 2, fine tune that color. So you have a lot of options there. Now, speaking of gaming, this TV has an array of gaming features. It has VRR, G-Sync, and HDMI 2.1. And this means the newest generations of consoles, you could take full advantage of the hardware. I'm not officially able to test response time, but gaming for me has been great. I played a lot of games that require, precise timing, and I thought it felt pretty responsive. According to rtings.com, here is a list of response times depending on which display settings you have enabled. This TV has a lot of features baked into it, and many I probably wouldn't use, but a couple of features that I want to call out is multi-view mode. And this lets you watch more than one source at a time. You can split screen or picture in picture. And I do find the controls a little bit cumbersome at times when trying to switch input, but playing around with it, I can get it to do what I want it to do. And I'm sure over time it will get better. And I think this feature will even get better when football season comes around and you want to watch a couple games, you can have them both on the TV at the same time. But you can also mix inputs too. So I can have one with AirPlay and then one with the game, and I can kind of go between the two. And I think it's a really nice feature. Ambient Mode is another cool one. It's like a screensaver plus, so it does a lot more. Number one, it is super customizable. You have dozens of options. You can download new ones from the store, and it just makes your TV sort of blend into the wall. It goes into this low power mode, and I think it just looks really good. You can get art, you can get ambient sound, you can get rain, and it just makes the TV just look a lot better as it sort of blends into where you're at. And then when you're ready to watch it again, it comes back into focus. And I think they did a really great job with Ambient Mode. I talked about it already, but of course it has AirPlay too. It also, if you have a Samsung device, you can split your screen to your phone all the way to the TV. So it has those type of smart options as well. It does have smart things baked into it. So if you're in the smart things ecosystem, you can then launch all of your smart home stuff. Now, one last thing I want to talk about is that maybe you're noticing the lights that are displaying on the TV like reflections. So this TV actually does a great job with reflections. It has a built-in reflection damper that is built right into the TV. And you may not be able to notice it here because I have tons of lights and I'm shooting at a lowered angle, but I promise you, comparing this to another TV that I have down here that doesn't have that, there's a significant difference when it comes to the light reflection on the TV. Samsung does an amazing job at, dispersing the light where it's not in one spot, it sort of spreads out, and overall it looks really good. So if you're in a room that has a lot of lights or like a window and a lot of natural light, this TV will do fine. The brightness gets bright enough where you can actually crank it all the way up. Overall, this TV exceeded my expectations, but its MSRP price, it is up there as one of the most expensive 4K TVs at its size. But if you are interested in this TV, make sure you're getting yourself a good deal. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Kevin the Tech Ninja. Give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.